Dave, what are you doing hanging out in the tiny toy theater? Oh, you know, just enjoying the view of nature. Oh, it looks like Flamingo's here to see you. Hi, Dave. Hi, Flamingo. We're both pink. Yeah, just like the tiny toy theater. Woohoo! Okay, Flamingo, do you want to join us with our reading today? Yes! Cool. All right, Dave, will you show Flamingo to the table? We're not going to go to my room because I will fall asleep there. Okay, let's go. Chapter 39, The Tears Roll Off. Dr. Mishkam came out of the kitchen holding a pink plate with small sandwiches on it. She sat down next to Flora. You are enjoying the horsehair sofa, she said to Flora. I guess, said Flora. She wasn't sure exactly how someone enjoyed a horsehair sofa. You will eat a jelly sandwich, said Dr. Mishkam. She extended the plate to Flora. Ulysses leaped off Flora's shoulder and into her lap. He sniffed the plate. A patient is hungry, said Dr. Mishkam. He never had breakfast, said Flora. She took 2 sandwiches and handed one to Ulysses. This sofa, said Dr. Mishkam, is the sofa of my grandmother. She was born on the sofa, in Blunder Machine. She lived the whole of her life there, and she is buried there in a dark wood. But that is a different story. What I meant to say is that when I spoke, I was a girl in Blunder Machine. I sat on this sofa and spoke with my grandmother about inconsequential things well into the gloom of the evening. That is what a girl in Blunder Machine did in those days. She was expected to speak of inconsequential things as the gloom of the evening descended. Also, she must knit. Always the gloom was descending in Blunder Machine. Always, always, one was knitting outfits for the little trolls. What little trolls, said Flora, and where's Blunder Machine? Never mind about the trolls for now. I meant only to say that life was very gloomy then, and one was always knitting. That sounds lousy, said Flora. It was exactly this, lousy, said Dr. Mishka. She smiled. Her dentures were very bright. There was a smear of grape jelly on one of her fake incisors. Flora reached for another sandwich. Had terrible things can happen to you? Ever warned against eating jelly sandwiches in the house of a woman from Blunder Machine? Your father is a lonely man, said Dr. Mishka. Also very sad. To leave you, this broke his heart. It did? Said Flora. Yes. Mr. George Buckman has sat on this horsehair sofa many times. He has talked of his sadness. He has wept. The sofa has seen the many tears of many people. It is a sofa that is good for tears. They roll off of it, you see. Her father had sat on this couch and wept as the gloom of the evening had descended. Flora suddenly felt like she might cry too. What was wrong with her? Seal blubber, she thought. The word steadied her. She handed another sandwich to Ulysses. Your father is very capricious of heart, said Dr. Mishka. Do you know what this means? Flora shook her head. It means that the heart of George Buckman is large. It is capable of containing much joy and much sorrow. Oh, said Flora. For some reason, she heard William Spiver's voice saying that the universe was a random place. Oh, I thought it said capricious heart. Capacious heart. That makes more sense, like capacity. Capacious heart, said Dr. Mishkam's voice. Random universe, said William Spivers. Capacious, random, heart, universe. Flora felt dizzy. I'm a cynic, she announced for no particular reason, and in a too loud voice. Bah, cynics, said Dr. Mishka. Cynics are people who are afraid to believe. She waved her hand in front of her face as if she was brushing away a fly. Do you believe in, things? Said Flora. Yes, I believe, said Dr. Mishka. She smiled her too bright smile. You have heard of Pascal's wager. No, said Flora. Pascal, said Dr. Mishka, had it that since it could not be proven whether God existed, one might as well believe that he did. because there was everything to gain by believing and nothing to lose. This is how it is for me. What do I lose if I choose to believe? Nothing. Take the squirrel, for instance, Ulysses. Do I believe he can type poetry? Sure, I do believe it. But there is much more beauty in the world if I believe such thing is possible. Flora and Dr. Mishcom looked at Ulysses. He was holding half a sandwich in his front paws. There were blobs of grape jelly in his whiskers. Do you know what a superhero is? Said Flora. Sure, I know what a superhero is. Ulysses is a superhero, said Flora, but he hasn't really done anything heroic yet. Mostly he's just flown around. He lifted a vacuum cleaner over his head. He wrote some poetry. He hasn't saved anyone, though, and that's what superheroes are supposed to do, save people. Who knows what he will do, said Dr. Mishcom. Who knows whom he will save? So many miracles have not yet happened. Flora watched as one of the jelly bobs on Ulysses' whiskers trembled and fell in slow motion to the horsehair sofa. All things are possible, said Dr. Mishcom. When I was a girl in Blender Machine, the miraculous happened every day, or every other day, or every third day. Actually, sometimes it didn't happen at all, even on the third day. But still, we expected it. You see what I'm saying? Even when it didn't happen, we were expecting it. We knew the miraculous would come. There was a knock at the door. See, said Dr. Mishcom, this will be your father, Mr. George Beckham. Flora stood and went to the door and opened it. It was her father, and he was smiling, again, still, which did seem kind of miraculous. Hi, Pop, she said. You see, said Dr. Mishcom, he smiles. Flora's father's smile got bigger. He took off his hat. He bowed. George Buckman, he said, how do you do? Flora couldn't help it. She smiled, too. She was still smiling when a noise that sounded like the end of the world echoed through the hallway of the Blixen Arms. 1 minute, her father was standing there with his hat in his hand, smiling. The next minute, Mr. Claus, the cat one, came out of nowhere and landed right on top of George Buckman's unprotected head. Chapter 40. Vanquished. Fortunately, a superhero was present. Sunny side up! Oh my gosh, that cat. Looks like Ulysses is pushing him. Lifting him up. For the love of Pete! Holy bagumba! Vanquished! And the superhero was inordinately pleased with himself. He felt immensely powerful. He felt like writing a poem. Okay, 2 questions today. First question is, a lot of you thought that Dr. Mishcom was kind of a bad character in the book, like maybe she was going to be a bad guy, trying to hurt Ulysses. Do you still think that she is a bad guy now that we know that the dad has been in her house and confides secrets in her and cries on her couch? Do you still think that she's going to be a bad guy? And if you do think she is, why? If you don't, why not? Okay, and then second question is what Ulysses did heroic, getting the cat off the dad's head? Do you think that that was something heroic? Why or why not? Okay, see you later.